Against a backdrop where the debate regarding allocation of lands for development projects is ongoing, and the controversial MCC agreement is also at the forefront, preparations are afoot to make another serious decision. We reveal details about this attempt during the past few days. There is an attempt to revoke a circular issued in 2001, limiting the arbitrary allocation of other forest lands for various development projects. Forest lands that have not been afforded protection under an act of parliament are known as other forest lands. As per the 2001 circular, any allocation of other forest lands requires the approval of a special review board. If the circular is revoked, district secretaries and divisional secretaries will be empowered to make decisions regarding these other forests.
We have a lot of complaints from farmers who are suffering. We investigated these incidents and the cabinet informed Minister S.M. Chandrasena that there is a need to implement a procedure to hand these over back to divisional secretaries. The lands that the farmers used to cultivate on are not other forests. Then they separated those lands using fences. These people have to live. We are not giving permission to destroy forests. There were people who lived here. This decision was taken at the cabinet to help these people. We have not given permission to cut down forests.
Meanwhile, Pahiyangala Anandasagara Thera, speaking on Newsline recently, spoke about this matter.
This government is trying to hand over 500,000 hectares to foreign companies after handing over power over these lands to the divisional secretaries without any inquiry into the impact it will have on the environment. They have prepared to hand over these lands to 5 multinational companies. If there is a request made at the District Development Coordination Committee that there is a need for 2,000 acres of land here, the divisional secretary can authorize that. There is a huge risk here. 33% of the land has been allocated for agriculture, but only 12% of these lands are being used. There are enough empty lands in this country that can be given to the people for agricultural purposes. The government is preparing to hand over 500,000 hectares of land to multinational companies over the backs of the innocent people in this country. We saw the incident where they allowed the Dole organization that damaged the environment in Somawathiya were allowed to cultivate banana. The Kalaoya Forest Reserve was given for mango cultivation. They began planting aloe vera adjacent to the Wilpattu forest. They created small projects and destroyed the entire ecosystem. All of these are foreign companies. Aloe vera is cultivated for the US. The Dole company is cultivating banana for the US. These are not for us. They're using these lands for those things. Mahinda Rajapaksa presented a cabinet paper on the 6th of December 2006 to hand over 65,000 acres of land in Bimthanna Uwavellassa to a multinational company from Britain named Bukatek. We prevented this from happening using those laws. Such a decision must not be taken arbitrarily by the President or the Prime Minister. When making serious decisions like these, discussions must be held with experts in the field, with environmentalists and officials, but these decisions are being taken arbitrarily by the rulers. When the Magampura port was handed over to a Chinese company, an agreement was struck to release 15,000 acres of land for the establishment of Chinese industries. The main obstacle to implement these is the 5/2001 circular. Since all state lands were subject to the control of the Forest Department, the government is unable to release lands for these kinds of projects. They are preparing to commercialize these lands by opening them up to the market. Their activities are directly linked to the MCC agreement. This is also connected to the loans that we have taken from China and international financial institutions, including the World Bank. The attempt to revoke this circular is linked to all of those. If this circular is revoked, the lack of clean water for people will aggravate along with the human-elephant conflict. These are some of the after effects that the people will have to suffer if this circular is revoked. Amid such problems being outlined by environmentalists, incidents of wild elephants breaking into villages and environmental destruction are being reported in the vicinity of lands that have been given to multinational companies. This is a large-scale mango and banana cultivation that is taking place under 2 multinational companies in the Atilibaba area in Munragala. Our correspondent reported that the Yala Forest Reserve is located on the borders of this region.
We settled on these lands in 1981. At that time, there were no elephants here. We used to engage in farming by cultivating paddy successfully. The problems faced due to wild elephants cropped up only after the mango cultivation came here. That is the truth. Earlier, we used to see elephants very rarely. A solution has not been given to us in this regard, no matter how many times this problem had been highlighted. A large drain has been constructed 8 kilometers from this location in 1994. Elephants did not enter the village for several years after the elephant fences had been protected. There is a mango and banana cultivation given by the government. They protected it by any means. If this, the biggest problem faced by the innocent people in this village, is solved, then that would suffice.
Well, time for a short commercial break. Stay with Newsfirst.